Hey, so in this tutorial I will explain to you how to use this latest configurator that we've released called Droplets Phone Holder. It's available to our silver subscribers and it's meant for people who have laser cutters or maybe have access to the laser cutter, right? What we have here is a 3D model itself and the drawings that are laid on the ground. You can customize the engravings, you can customize this pattern, right? And you can customize a lot of things like dimensions, thickness, and everything. So we will go through all of that in a minute. But first thing I want to do is just remove this pattern so that the computation would happen, faster each time. And at the end, when we will be ready, we can apply the pattern, play with that more. So let's see, let's start with changing those titles and subtitles. Those can be anything, right? It can be your name, maybe some greeting to someone if you're meaning this to be as a present, as a gift. So I will just make this into something like that. So it's Matas and happy birthday or something. So it's not my birthday, but yeah, let's just do this. So it's a nice example of how you can use these engravings, right? Another thing that you can do, of course, is just remove this logo. We do appreciate if you make this model with a logo, but if you want to, to have it clean, it's also possible. And if you're a real fan of bitbybit, just include it, and you see it here together with engraving. It looks quite nice, I think, so suits the model. What we have here in 3D model as well, these cuts for the wire. So of course the phones need charging, right? And you can just place your wire through this hole and you then go here, and you will see here that we also have a hole where you can plug it into your phone itself, right? Okay, so let's get back to the parameters that we have here. Another parameter is this thickness. So basically, if you are cutting wood, you will be cutting maybe 3 millimeters, maybe 4 millimeters wood. The idea is that you can change it here to whatever, maybe 1 centimeter even. If you're cutting 1 centimeter wood, it's rare that you do that. This model doesn't really require that, but you can do it. And you see that the thickness here updated in 3D model, and you see that these holes where the pieces need to attach to each other, they also adapted and changed in real time. And what we can also do is just, let's use this normal value of 0.3 maybe, and let's keep it like that for the remainder of the tutorial. So another thing that you can customize is the phone width, height, and thickness. Just measure your own phone, right? Maybe the case that you have is unique to you. So just measure it and adjust these parameters. Basically, the thickness is maybe most important so that it fits here. Make sure that you have enough room before you manufacture, right? So if I change the width, for example, you will see that the model updates and it gets wider. If I change the height, it will go and be lower. Basically, these settings just allow you to customize your model to the way that you want. And maybe you are indeed using this for the tablet or something else, so then you will use different values. You can even place a book here, right? So we call it a phone holder, but in general you can think of many applications for this 3D laser cut product. Another thing that you can do here is control the back length. So this is the length between this place here and the part here. So basically, if I make it 22, you will see that this distance increases and the angle is being kept on 20 degrees for now. I can change that as well. So let's first maybe put it on something like 15. Okay, and then we can control the angle to be like 30. And now you see that it updated. This can be anything between 10 and all the way to 60. So I don't know if you would have this your preference, but it's possible. And I don't think that other values are really making much sense, so I just don't allow you to go beyond that. But yeah, if you really want to customize your phone freely, you can also use our other editors and just change whatever you want there, but I will show that in different tutorials. So basically for this configurator, we just want to stick to some logical values, and for now let's keep it on 25. If I change this back to 10, or something, you will see also quite a logical result. It seems stable, so you can have it even shorter. It really depends what your preferences are for the styling of this phone holder. Another thing that we have here is an offset around the phone. So by default, we add an extra width around your phone. So if you put it on 0, right, the whole model will match exactly your phone. So I'm not sure if you would like some offset or not, but if you don't want it, then put it on 0. If you want bigger offset, you can change it here, and it will just go and add an additional centimeter around your phone. And you will then maybe see better additional patterns when your phone is on the holder itself. Another thing that you can change here is the pen shelf. So it's a small part here where you can place additional things on. So I guess, it's really great for holding a pen, and that's why I called it pen shelf. And then you can just change it to like being 2 centimeters or being 0.5. So this is a really small one. But if you want to add, maybe bigger objects here, you can do that as well. I'm not really sure what you can add here. Maybe your credit cards or something. You can then make this elongated. And let's just now put it back to 1 centimeter. I think that's quite logical. And another thing here is phone lock height. So I call this part a lock. Basically, it allows the phone to be stable on the holder, right? It doesn't let it slip. So you can control how high it is. I think it shouldn't be too high, right? Because then at some point it begins blocking the phone itself. But yeah, you can, depending on your use case, make it higher or lower. So let's just keep it maybe on 0.5 as it was there. We have here a fillet radius, which can be, smaller. So basically it controls this radius on the corners. And you have to be a bit careful with it, because if you set your phone lock height to 0.5 and fillet radius to 0.5, yeah, okay, it worked, right? I think I managed to control all of those situations and not allow some weird fillets to happen. But imagine, you would round your part to a higher radius than the height of the part, and it can create some problems, and you will see the error here. So for now, that's gonna work. I think I'll put it back to 0.3. It looks quite okay. And another thing that we already saw is the pattern. It's a density pattern, but let's leave those for later. Also the wire input thickness, so it's controlling this part here. And what you will see is that if I change it to 3 centimeters, it will become wider. So if you have a larger wire, it will also fit. So I don't think you need anything larger than 3 centimeters realistically. But yeah, let me know if you have something unique, and I can just adjust this in the configurator later on. So we have here now a model that we've set up. You can choose to include or exclude the drawings. So if you exclude those, you will only see the 3D model, right? But if you include them, then you have them here laid out. And you can also control the spacing between the drawings. So if you want them to be 1.5 centimeters distance from each other, then just increase this spacing. Maybe your laser cutter supports 0.2 millimeters, so that the burns don't appear, then it's also fine. But yeah, this depends on your machine settings, materials, whatnot. So be free to change it as you please. Another thing that you can do, of course, is include the patterns. This is the last thing that we will do. I will just play around a little bit with that. So let's include the pattern. You see that the computation takes just a bit longer. It's not crazy long, right? But depending on the size of the model, it can take longer. What you can adapt here is the density of your pattern. So if you want those bubbles to be a bit larger, you can put this on 1, for example, and then you see that now you have a bit different sort of scale to those droplets. You can use 0.6 or even go to 0.3. That's quite dense. Hope it will work out. So that takes a bit longer to compute, but now it's done and you see how your model looks like. So this pattern is applied on the back side and on the front side. And yeah, I quite enjoy this pattern. If you exclude the logo, right, then this pattern will go from the top of the case to all the way to the bottom. So like this, right? This is also looking quite nice. I would still prefer the logo there, but in case you don't like it or you want it to be just about the person for whom you make this gift, you can do that. So let's leave it like that for now. And yeah, you can of course increase this density to 0.7 or something. Again, it's all up to you how you do that. Maybe your laser cannot do cuts that are too small, right? So depending on all of those things, make sure to adjust this to your own preferences. When you're done, you can save the step file for both the 3D model and the drawings. So those will be then included in that step file. You can save that to DXF, and DXF support in bitbybit is well, it works. That's important, right? But I'm not exactly sure if you can just directly use it in your own laser cutters. Some laser cutters can do that. Like you will see that we just export everything as polylines, and there will not be any circles or anything like that. So because of that, you may experience some issues. So in those situations, I would advise you to export your drawings as a step file, right? And then import that into your own CAD software and export to your preferred, drawing types through that. So basically, step files are well supported in the industry, in the CAD industry. You can open them in Rhino, for example. Export them again to whatever file format you're familiar with, and that will then be also useful for you, I guess. But DXF, yeah, just try it out. Maybe it will work out of the box with your laser cutter, and let me know also if that's the case. So I will also take that into account for other configurators. But yeah, for now, I think we went through all those steps here. I hope you enjoyed the video, and let's see each other in the next ones. Cheers.